What is up, my humsies? Today we are playing Dead Cells. But first, I'd just like to say, please take a deep breath. Stretch out your arms. Ask yourself, if I had 10 minutes to totally annihilate some freaking monsters in a castle, how would I do it? Okay, let's get right into it. Aw, dude, I did this thing again. I pressed the wrong button. Back to game. Alright. Oh, shit. I forgot to set up my screens. That's okay. Alright, we took a brief look at Seed 4 last night, and what we found was that we did not like it. It's very claustrophobic. Maybe on these early seeds they were building, they, you know. Let's go with the hook. I'm not even taking the Fire Blast because I'll use it, and that is not conducive to my style. Because it has a long delay. I'll take that, though. What? Maybe we should just go really slow. Is that the move? This is the most godforsaken seed ever. Look at these angles. Ugh. Alright, I'm not even qualified to stream this. It's because I don't like these weapons. No complaints. Okay? Just stick with it. No one likes a fucking bitch. There we go. That's all you had to ask for. A little patience. right. Oh, is that a carrot over there? Let me just go grab that. For money. Subverted expectations. Thought I was going to eat a carrot. I just turned it into $300. If you want tips for how to navigate the world, look no further than yours truly. I am an experienced person, 42 years, 43, and that gives me something. If you're 20, I'd say the sky's the limit. Really take a look at your self-limiting beliefs and the things you take for granted. Not granted. The things you assume are always going to be true. And just ask them if you think that is steady. This is the worst. I can't find my way out of the prisoner's quarters today on February 28th. Alright, I'm just going to run until I find something. I got my scrolls now, which are incorrectly distributed. I'm kind of down for some chiller music today. Let's try... Excuse me. We are good. Actually, I'm just kidding. We are not good yet. I want to fix my screens. We got that one. Okay. Nice. Okay. By the way, if you ever wanted to know what is the best way to... The fudge am I doing? Okay, we are basically restarting now. Happy to report that this shit is ready to go. Oh no. Got the book right away. Oh, I can hold A to skip. Can I? Do that. Hey, has that always been there? Alright, we're definitely going back to this one. This has got a lot of potential. Alright, let's just do a tactics run today. Not make the same mistakes we made last time. Keep in mind I am having the benefit of having done this seed a few times, so I know where I'm going, but I always go the wrong way. I always go down there. That's not what we want to do. That way is awful. We want to go towards the scrolls. That's the main point of prisoners' quarters. And that's going to be a crowbar. We likey. Okay. See? Now I got my scrolls. And could have gone to the Arboretum. But I don't like Arboretum. I'm good. Okay. That was great. Did it. Ooh. You might say I'm a one-trick pony. And that is true. But sometimes I surprise myself. We wanted in the mercy. Oh, my dear knight. Ah. That's fine, dude. That's just fine. Alright. Let's try one we don't do yet. We have not done this one at all. I guess I'll bring that. See? That's what happens when I bring that. I do a lot of standing. And even when I use it, I wish I didn't. It's just too slow. And I'm not saying other playstyles can't adapt it. But like, I don't got time to be standing there all day. I'm gonna skip the crowbar this time. And hopefully I'm not making the same mistake I always make. Looks like I found my way out this time. Yeah. At this point, it's too late. I'll just stick with survival. Maybe that'll do some good. Okay. Cell 4. What a pain in the balls. Seed 4, not cell 4. I guess if I'm going survivor, let's take the money. Not this time. Huh. Here we have Shem. That was calling my name. Oh, geez, didn't even see him. I'm so discouraged and disappointed and confused in myself. Oh. Alright. I'm not going to lose another run so early. Oh my gosh, it's another freaking fire blast. I was just about to say anything to not have the fire blast. Huh. Well, I guess it's upgraded now. Jeez. I knew it was only morass down there. Why did I do that? Because I thought there would be a scroll. Yeah. It's okay. The duck did not work that time. Threw the grenade off the ledge. Don't worry, guys. I don't need a grenade. Okay, I've had enough of this abuse. I'm praying for a throwing knife from the first chest. Oh. Okay, if I get there. This guy's coming out of nowhere. Sneaky Pete. Okay. Guess what, guys? Seed 4. We made it out of the second biome. Just fantastisch. Still counting on the kunai randomly being in the cursed chest. Keep in mind, although I have done this seed, I have not done this part before. So if there is a knife in here, throwing knife, it was a total guess. Ah. That's still pretty good. Throwing deck, I'll take it. Okay. Ski. Oh shit. I thought I'd get him completely. Think the cat can handle that boy? Cat saved me there. Oh yeah. Did I fuck that part up? Whoa! Jeez. That guy. Alright, I'm going for it. Oh. Whoa. That guy is putting in some serious work. Dead. And that's just another day in the life of getting my butt smashed. After that uneventful stream, I'm going to say one more time. This is definitely going to be the one. Now I have an incentive because killing decks in the backpack is very cool. I mean, killing decks in the curse chest. And killing decks in backpack, perhaps. Almost went down. That's my natural inclination. Then where do I go? Here? Oh, for Pete's sake. How did that happen? This way. And it's gonna be 100% hell yeah to the mother frickin'. Nah, because I always use crowbar. I should switch. Oh, that is a nasty spot. Whew. You know what? That says it all. Can't even get out of prisoner's quarters today, people, so I'm gonna just say take a look at some of my better times when I actually could play. And maybe I should just segue into one of my other projects that I was doing for the day. So if you came for the Dead Cells content, it ends here, but I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm going to continue with an experiment. Let's see what we got on deck. The dog swimming laps. What else could we look at? Okay. We have this. What can we do next? Take a look at our options. I think more stickers is the way to go. Maybe one more sticker. Let's find a good one. Okay. For some reason, this one speaks to me. I wonder why. This doesn't feel right. Alright, I'm gonna stick it up here for now. Huh. That may not be right, but it is. Because now... We just made a whole bunch.
To go in and in and in with more and more detail.
I had the great privilege of having a discussion with the famous cosmologist Stephen Hawking when I passed through London recently. And I said to Dr. Hawking, the Mandelbrot set is infinite in detail. You can explore it forever and ever, zoom into it. The real universe, however, does seem to have limits. As you go down into the micro world, you get, of course, molecules, atoms, neutrons, and perhaps subatomic particles, quarks. But does the real universe go on forever? Is there a limit, a basement, unlike the Mandelbrot set?
In the case of the universe, there seems to be a limiting scale. It is called the Planck length, and it's about 1,000,000 billion times smaller than an inch. This means that there is a limit to how complex the universe can be. It also means that the universe could be described by a theory that is fairly simple, at least on scales of the Planck length. I just hope that we are smart enough to find it.
We're not sure. It may indeed go on forever, like the Mandelbrot set. We just don't know yet.
Plank length is bullshit. There's no such thing. Because a plank length is like inherently flawed by definition because you have a connected universe. So there can't be any distance between anything. So you can imagine it as small as you want, but it's revealing the flaw of the observer. You've got an observer, and so it's going to imagine that it's outside of the thing that it's inside. Plank length is basically the time of a thought. That's what you're looking at. It's not like a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of an inch. A pixel, a reality pixel. There's no reality pixel. I don't know why I got so heated about that. I really don't even know. But it just doesn't seem right to me. Like, oh, the tiniest bit of space you can have. Why am I being so negative all the time? Okay, I got some stuff for you. I hope you like scary movies. Let's see. Let's go with the Tales from... We're not doing Doku review. Okay. Next. Okay, so what can I say about today's episode of Tales from These Nuts? Well, I'll just let my friend Sean over at Sound Fiction do the talking. Thanks to Sound Fiction for the narration. Tales from These Nuts in collaboration with Sound Fiction. This one is called The Fair. I hope you enjoy it.
Tales from These Nuts number 1. The Fair. It was an unusually hot day at the county fair, but still we were having a heck of a time. Matt got a bullseye at the play shooting range, and we rode the miniature roller coaster. Chris dropped his cell phone, but the operator was nice enough to stop the roller coaster so we could look for it. Thankfully, it was on the ground next to a triangle-shaped rock. We played in the arcade and ate pizza. We got pizza grease on the plastic control sticks, and they turned shiny. After that, we were out of money, and needed to find something we could do for free. We left the arcade and stepped out into the brightness. Matt held his hands over his eyes like a visor. What's that? He pointed to a unique attraction. It wasn't a traditional fairgrounds game like the play shooting range or a miniature roller coaster. Instead, a modest pair of silver, oval-shaped trailers sat on a patch of grass. A large patch of grass. Nay, it was a meadow, peculiarly situated directly in the middle of the bustling fairground. Let's head that way, Chris said. We stepped into the meadow and entered a bubble of serenity. The chatter, the screaming, and the busy sounds of the fair were suddenly quieted and distant. In the meadow, it wasn't hot. There was dew on the grass. Very interesting. The attendant at this attraction was also unique. He didn't wear bright clothes or a hat, overalls, or a sharp suit like the other fairground workers. Nor did he hold balloons, a toy gun, or a megaphone like the others. He wore a plain white lab coat that held only a clipboard. Indeed, the trailers on the meadow and the man attending them were so out of place at the fair that we mayn't have considered it part of the fair at all if the man shouting hadn't supplied the right context. He waved his clipboard in grand circles and shouted the familiar mantra of all county fairs, "Step right up, step right up." We approached curiously, quite surprised to find another person standing in the meadow whom we hadn't seen before. He was a tall guy, a lone fairgoer who strongly resembled Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show. The attendant smiled widely at us and took a few steps forward. "Welcome, brave souls. Would any of you kind gentlemen care to switch bodies with my friend?" The scientist laid a hand on the Theo look-alike shoulder and asked, "What's your name, friend?" "Theo," Theo replied. The man in the coat smiled even wider and took his original place between the silver trailers. "That's right. Switch bodies for a day. Experience the world through the eyes of someone new. Who would care to try?" Theo raised his hand, while Mac, Chris, and I exchanged looks. Their brows furrowed in hesitation, then expanded with encouragement. So I was to be the one. "Sure," I said, and they ushered me forward. "That's the spirit." The attendant beckoned me nearer. As Theo and I approached, again I noticed something new. Directly between the silver trailers, an old-fashioned water pump was sticking out of the ground. The pump was so rusty that I dismissed it right away as a relic of the long-standing fairground. It was then, to my surprise, when the scientist attached a very long tube of cloudy white plastic to the mouth of the pump. The other end of the tube was split into 8 smaller tubes, of which I was handed 4, and Theo the other 4. "Okay, gents, just stick 1 tube in each of your nostrils and 1 in each of your ears, and we'll be off." Theo and I followed his instructions. The ends of the rigid tubes could have been tapered a bit for comfort, but the warm plastic lodged in my ears and nostrils felt altogether not unpleasant. Before long, Theo and I were having a laugh at the state of ourselves. There we were, each with 4 plastic tubes inserted in our heads. "You look great," the attendant cried. I turned around to see Matt was also laughing. Chris was nodding his head happily and gave the thumbs up in approval. I smiled at them, clasped my hands together, and waved my arms like an old-timey strongman. Then I gulped. This was actually a bit scary. The scientist examined the tubes and found them inserted to his satisfaction. He suddenly proclaimed, "Here we go," and started pumping the rusty old water pump with strong, steady thrust. I felt a hot moment of panic as the squeaky pump sent a bright yellow fluid seeping slowly through the tube. "Don't worry, it's fine," coaxed the scientist. His tone was gentle, confident, and relaxing. The fluid flowed past the fork of the tube and soon traveled beyond my sight. The persistent squeak of the pump faded. I heard only my heartbeat as viscous yellow fluid filled my sinuses. Immediate discomfort arrived as massive pressure behind my eyes, accompanied by a high-pitched whomp, as if I jumped into a swimming pool at an unfortunate angle. The water had shot up my nose. The discomfort grew and became tremendous. Suddenly, explosive pain in my sinuses precluded a nearly instantaneous lapse from consciousness. The last sound I heard was an explosive pop, which I believed to be the sound of my head popping like a balloon. But in reality, it was the sound of the tubes in my orifices dislodging due to the pressure. Then, I was on my knees, vomiting yellow fluid onto the ground. I hadn't time to notice anything else before the brownness of my skin caught my attention. It was much browner than usual. I spit out the last of the fluid and looked up at the scientist, now slightly to my right side instead of my left. There we go. Worked like a charm, didn't it? Indeed it had. There to my right, spitting out dregs of yellow fluid, was myself. That is to say, it must have been Theo in my body. At this moment, he also fully realized the situation, and he looked at me in absolute astonishment. I could see Matt and Chris behind him, and they were also astonished. Perhaps not because they knew Theo and I had switched bodies, but because they had just seen 2 people fill their heads up with random yellow fluid and then start puking it out. Black shoes bounced cheerfully on the grass before me. "Now you just go ahead and try out those bodies for 24 hours and then come on back. and if you want to, I'll switch you back, the attendant said. Theo and I agreed that we would return to the fairgrounds the next day to switch back to our normal bodies. We waved unanswered goodbyes to the attendant, who was busy writing on his clipboard and did not look up. As soon as we left the meadow, dry grass crunched beneath our feet. On the way home, Chris said he was jealous. He'd wish he'd gotten a fresh start like I did. I didn't fully agree with his logic, since I wasn't actually given a fresh start, but rather had started from where Theo had left off. But I didn't see much point in arguing. The sentiment was nice. After all, who doesn't like to be the object of envy sometimes? Matt said it was really cool, like I was a tourist all the time now. I didn't understand what he meant at that moment, but I soon came to realize how right he was. Every experience was brand new when I lived through someone else's body. Food tasted different. Colors looked a bit different. Theo's vision was sharper than mine, and his muscles larger. He had a bigger penis and a deeper voice. I tried saying all sorts of words, enjoying the feeling of the low rumble in Theo's voice box. May I have some water, please? It's hot. I'm tired. I miss my family. Despite all of the attention I was getting from Matt, Chris, and Heather, it didn't take long for the novelty to wear off. By that evening, I was very much looking forward to getting my regular body back the next day. So it came as a huge shock when I had learned that Theo had been in an accident the very night and died while in my body. My immediate and primary concern was for my parents. I felt so sorrowful, imagining how they would feel to learn I had passed on. Certainly they could not readily accept the idea that I had switched bodies. They would not understand. There was no point in contacting them, so I would not be allowed. I spoke to Matt about my worries for my family. He checked a box on his clipboard before gently reminding me that Theo and I had switched wallets before we left the meadow. It was likely that my body would never be identified, and my parents would never learn I was gone. He told me the best plan was to wait and see what happened, so that's what I did. In the end, he turned out to be correct. As luck would have it, my parents never learned about the death of their son. That is to say, the death of Theo in their son's body. The following day, I returned to the fairgrounds. I was eager to find the scientist and discuss the situation with him. However, when I arrived, the oval-shaped trailers were gone. In fact, the whole fair had disappeared. Even stranger, the area was not empty as it would have been if the fair had simply finished and packed up. Now, a large, sterile complex of office buildings sat in its place. The miniature roller coaster and shooting ranges had been replaced by gray high-rises, and I could see a small parking lot in the distance. A rush of hot air escaped the automatic doors as I entered the building. The first people I saw were a man and a woman, wearing the same white jackets as the man who switched me out of my body. They walked side by side, down a long corridor, chatting somberly with serious expressions. "Hello," I said. I hadn't meant to startle them, but there was no mistaking their confusion and worry about seeing me there. I told them I wanted my old body back. The man took me firmly by the arm and spoke a word to the woman, who quickly walked off. The man led me down the corridor, and again I asked for my old body back. The man told me it wasn't possible, and that my body was now dead. I made some sort of statement about reporting them to the authorities, but I wasn't even sure what I meant. The threat didn't affect the man in the coat. He ignored the comment, and he wanted to discuss something with me. "My immediate and primary concern is that you are lost. Let's head this way," he said. He led me deep into the building, where I spotted the two oval-shaped trailers which had been outside the day before. The trailers were parked in a cavernous hangar, which was brightly lit, with giant fluorescent office lights affixed to an impossibly high metal ceiling. Unlike the day at the fair, the trailers were not empty. I could see through the window of the one closest to me, a young man sitting at a table. As I got closer, I saw a bright, reddish-white lamp sat on the table next to him, and several more lamps behind him. The air in the trailer was hazy. It wavered with heat lines, like an asphalt road on a hot summer day. Wet bangs clung to the boy's brow. Drops of sweat rolled from his hairline over his face, shiny with perspiration and locked in concentration. Though I could not see his hands, I knew he was focusing diligently on the task given to him, methodically placing pieces of a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle onto a complex board. "Sit here, please," Chris said. I sat in a white plastic chair next to a fake plant and waited. The plastic was warm. While waiting for... I'm not sure who I was waiting for. I watched the boy in the trailer. I guess he lived in there, because there was a pillow and a sheet on a cot behind him. Pictures of his family were taped up around him.
Okay. Just
Suddenly,
realized
a woman
that I
scientist
had,
spoke. "We're running some tests. We keep the temperature in there at 140 to see how long he can take it. Don't tell anyone. Then she turned a knob and...
Okay, I just realized that I had the dog swimming the whole time on in the background. So then I was talking over the sound. Anyway, another failed stream, but failure is just a catalyst for success. Thank you so much for joining me today on my show.